Nikki, I wanted to ask you, so Chris Christie thinks that you're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. And honestly, I agree with him. And you're basically the new John Kerry on the... If you remember John Kerry from 2004. So my question is, how can you change your opinion like that in just 8 years? And will you pardon Donald Trump?
Nikki Haley may just want to stop doing these town halls because they're not going great for her. Amazing sweaters, but the interaction with the voters is not working out the way that she wants. That was Adam, a fourth grader, drawing an equivalence between her and John Kerry, who, as Edwin noted, Adam was not alive when John Kerry was running for president, but still, I appreciate the call back there. So it's a tough question. Are you being a flip-flopper on the topic of Donald Trump? And here's her attempt to answer that question.
So the first thing I'll tell you is politics is about distraction, right? And so people like my friends, Chris Christie, are gonna say she's a flip-flopper. But let's look at it. What's he saying I'm flip-flopping on? He's basically saying that I'm not hitting Trump hard enough, right? The interesting part of this whole situation is anti-Trumpers think I don't hate him enough. And pro-Trumpers think I don't love him enough. And at the end of the day, the fact is, I'm just telling you the truth like I see it. It's not personal for me. It's never been personal for me. I told you I think he was the right president at the right time. I told you that I agree with a lot of his policies. But do I think he's the right president to go forward? No, we can't handle the chaos anymore.
That's a lot of fun there. I love starting up an answer by saying politics is about distraction and then largely distracting from the very real concerns that Adam was bringing up there. I don't care if you think that it's personal or not. Donald Trump is not just a joke. He's not just a sideshow. It's a very serious thing. There are serious risks if he becomes president again. And you saying, he was a good president then, but now you're running against him, so he's obviously not the right president. Like, you so think he's not the right president for us that you are willing to go up against him. And yet we all know that if he offers you the VP position, you're gonna end up taking it. So Adam is 100% right. That is about the most substantive flip-flopping that one can imagine. Supporting a guy who's promising terrible, devastating things, seeing 4 years of his presidency, including his utterly botched response to COVID, and then going up against him, but obviously holding in your back pocket the possibility that you could serve in his administration again is utterly ridiculous. But to be fair, I think that's what's drawing headlines, that response, but I think this is even worse.
I would pardon Trump. And the reason is, first of all, we don't know what they're gonna find innocent, guilty, any of that. And we want everybody to be innocent until proven guilty. But the second thing is, if he is found guilty, a leader needs to think about what's in the best interest of the country. What's in the best interest of the country is not to have an 80-year-old man sitting in jail that continues to divide our country. What's in the best interest of the country would be to pardon him so that we can move on as a country and no longer talk about him.
Okay, I think we're gonna be talking about him either way. And the idea that he's not gonna continue to divide the country, if only we let him out of prison, that's certainly a theory. Ravana, what do you think about it?
Well, first I wanna say to the 9-year-old Adam, unlearn who John Kerry is, okay? Look, I take a tip from me. I am jaded, I am sad, I am angry every day because politics is my life. You don't have to live like this. Hop on Roblox, there's still time, you can be saved. That aside, in response to what she said, well, first my question would be, Nikki Haley, do you want to pardon all 80-year-old men who are sitting behind bars? What about 80-year-old men who are behind bars for, petty theft or for, drug charges? Should we pardon them? No, just Donald Trump. Okay, all right, Nikki Haley. So it seems like that wasn't a major consideration in it. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's right about her flip-flop, and she's been pathetic the past couple days on the campaign trail, to her detriment after she had really been picking up some steam within the polls lately. But it seems like she's not capable of answering a question correctly, even the ones that have been super softball questions. And to say she would pardon Donald Trump to heal the country is absurd, as though him being convicted would not be enough to outrage his supporters, or the idea that people like us who are sane and can acknowledge that he committed crimes for which he should be going to jail for would not be outraged if he was pardoned and allowed to live out the rest of his days with some level of peace and not behind bars where he belongs. It's just an absurd claim to make, especially as justification for what would be a crazy decision. But what we need to keep in mind is that she's saying this because she knows she's not going to win, and she's vying for a position in a potential Trump administration.
First of all, I think if someone has not, they should take that clip of Nikki Haley listening to the kid talk and put her thoughts, because she keeps smiling, but she's like, "You little twerp." You look at the smile. She's like, "You little piece of who let this kid in?" You could see her seething with her distaste at this kid. She's really pissed off at this kid, and she tries to turn around. Well, look at what a great question you asked right there, young man. So that's one thing that I thought would be fun to do. The other thing is, you couldn't write it like Nikki Haley's answers in these town halls feels like I forget what that movie was. There was a movie, I think, with it was Chris Rock or Bernie Mac was running for president, and they were totally unqualified. It feels like a comedian is running for president, and this is where the speechwriters are like in their ear giving the answer, and he's mishearing it or she's mishearing it, so she's giving these. What was the Civil War about? Well, the Civil War was about being civil. You want to be civil or uncivil? Is it a war? Is it not a war? I mean, it's just she's so uncharismatic. We know politicians lie. We know they flip flop. If I were Nikki Haley, I would have been like, "Listen, kid, everyone's flip flopped on Donald Trump because for a day we all thought he was done. So we all stood up. Even Lindsey Graham stood up and said, 'I'm done with him.' Yep. Then he flip flopped, and Kevin McCarthy flip flopped. The only person that hasn't flip flopped is Chris Christie, who is adamant about his dislike of Trump. And so, hey kid, why don't you go ask Chris Christie why he's not a flip flopper? The rest of us are." 100%. And the fact is, look at his following, the base. There's 30% of Republicans are his base. I need those numbers, so I'm flip flopping, kid, until the guy is convicted. And if he's convicted, I hope somebody else is president so that I don't have to pardon him, because they'll probably have to pardon him. They'll probably pardon him. I don't want to really pardon him, but I will. I'll say I'll pardon him because that's the thing to say.
100%.
And by the way, like you just said, like pardoning that guy and letting him out is gonna bring the country together. Because I mean, you gotta lock this dude up in a hole with no technology. If this guy doesn't serve a little bit of time in jail, I'm giving up on everything. I'm done. I mean, I've been waiting years. Even if they get him on a parking violation, and he's got to spend one night in jail in Maine.
Yeah,
that's all I ask.
We're gonna work on it. Okay, we're gonna make some calls. But anyway, yeah, it's just she's been doing terrible. And look, I don't want people to think that we're focusing too much on her and her terrible response to stuff like the Civil War question. Heads up to the media: ask Ron DeSantis and Ramaswamy what the cause of the Civil War was, and see them dance around acknowledging the truth.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below, because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.